Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So while our current president is at the well of the UN flinging his gonads about, waving his fists, snarling at one country after the next, the countries that he wants to pummel and threaten, what about the last president? Where is Barry Obama? Where is President Obama? The beloved President Obama. Well, President Obama is doing just fine. He's on a Wall Street speaking tour, collecting $400,000 a pop for speech. Wow, that is an amazing giveaway to people who said Obama was this horrible person who was holding them back and who Obama was on their necks and all this other stuff. Regardless of what Obama said during his run-up to the election, I mean, you had a financial crash, he was talking tough about the banks, he gets in office, the people, the public is there with him. Be our will. Be our avatar. They fucked us over. They've screwed over this economy. Be our avatar. Do what needs to be done. Break up the banks. Obama goes into a meeting. Those bankers thinks that he's going to give them their heads, and he says, I am the one standing between you and the pitchforks. None of them went to prison. Instead, he just gave them a bunch of money. Other people went bust. The banks made out perfectly okay. 95% of the wealth in the two terms went to the top 1%. And that is an amazing number. Bush could not hit that number. The wealth was expanded under the Obama administration, larger, meaning income gap, the income inequality gap, under Obama, more so than under any other president. Regardless of what these guys were saying when they were screaming at Obama and everything else, ultimately, what it boiled down to is he protected their interests. He's being rewarded for protecting their interests. So yes, they're going to give him money for speeches. The quotes in this are amazing. This is Bloomberg. Obama goes from White House to Wall Street in less than a year. Hillary Clinton said she made a mistake when she gave speeches on Wall Street after leaving government. Taking money from banks, she writes in her memoirs, created the impression she was in their pocket. Her old boss doesn't seem to share her concern. Last month, before her book, What Happened?, was published, Barack Obama spoke to New York clients in Northern Trust Corporation for about $400,000, a person familiar with this parent said. Last week, he reminisced about the White House for Carlyle, one of the world's biggest private equity firms, according to two people who were there. Next week, he'll give a keynote speech to an investment bank, Cantor Fitzgerald LP's healthcare conference. Obama is coming to Wall Street less than a year after leaving the White House, following a path that was well-trod and well-paid. While he can't run for president, he continues to be an influential voice in the party, torn between celebrating and vilifying corporate power. His new work with banks might suggest which side of the debate he'd be on and disappoint anyone expecting him to avoid the trap that snared Clinton. Or, as some of his executive friends see it, he's just a private citizen giving a few paid speeches to other successful people while writing his next book. I bet he is. He was the president of the entire United States. Financial services are under that umbrella, said former UBS Group executive Robert Wolf, an early supporter who joined the Obama Foundation board this year. He doesn't look at Wall Street like, oh, these are individuals who don't want the best for the country. He doesn't stereotype. You're giving him $400,000. You're giving him $400,000. You believe that he's going to stereotype you after you're giving him $400,000. Here's a check for $400,000. How do you feel about me? I think you guys are awesome. I think you guys are fucking awesome. I think the public has a wrong view of you. They don't see you the way I see you. No, because you were given $400,000. From a human level, just from a human being, from person to person, somebody gives you $400. How are you going to feel about the person who gave you $400? You have an interaction with someone else, some kind of business relationship with that person. Are you telling me that if something comes up, you're not going to have that access? All of this is about access. The money has nothing to do with the speech. The money has everything to do with access. I need to come up with a justification to give you money, to bribe you. Hey, give me a speech. I give you $400,000. Who cares that the $400,000 in no way makes up for whatever you're going to tell me? That's not the point. The point is some pretext for me to give you $400,000. When I need you, I will have your ear. That's the point. That's the point. It doesn't have to be this overt thing of here's money, now I need you to do X. The very act of you giving somebody money from a human standpoint, it's just from human to human interaction. These are the people I interact with. These are the people I associate with. These are the people who pay me. These are the people who pay me. It's amazing. Since leaving office, he has delivered public and private speeches that are quote-unquote true to his values, Kevin Lewis, a spokesman for the former president, said in an email. His paid speeches in part have allowed President Obama to contribute $2 million to Chicago programs offering job training and employment opportunities to low-income youth. You know what would have been nice? It would have been awesome if somebody had the power of, like, the presidency that could have actually taken large-scale changes, that could have actually did similar things. $2 million is nice. Having the federal government reorganized in a way that would have advantaged, well, the majority of the population would have been better. It would have been better. Look, I'm not shocked by this. Let me put it that way. I just try to make this point that this money is not necessarily innocuous. This is not a situation where somebody gets a bunch of money and it's like, oh, thanks for the money, and you move on with your life as if that person never gave you $400,000. If you get $1 billion to get elected, what do you do for that money? Does getting $1 billion to get elected have anything to do with pushing the Trans-Pacific Partnership? Something that, you know, any honest person who reads that legislation knows it's horrible for the United States. It's horrible for any sovereign country to take on a policy such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Does getting $1 billion from people who have interests that go full in line with what's going to take place under the Trans-Pacific Partnership have anything to do with the president pushing the Trans-Pacific Partnership? Does the president getting millions and millions of dollars from Wall Street have anything to do with that same president protecting those same people who gave him those millions and millions of dollars? They make another point in Bloomberg. Revolving door, this is under this topic. But Jeff Harser, who studies political corruption as head of the Revolving Door Project in Washington, said Obama should play by the same rules as other politicians because of his ongoing work with the Democratic Party. He continues to exercise authority, Harser said, citing support for the redistricting committee and the push he gave to Tom Perez in the race to head the Democratic National Committee. If he wants to play a role, he ought to forego $100,000 here or there, maybe $500,000. He's making this point that it's not a situation of Obama as some kind of private citizen who's just out there fishing somewhere. He's still interacting in Democratic politics. Here's $400,000. Here's $2 million. Here's whatever amount of money. I need you to whisper to so-and-so about X. I need to have a conversation with you about Y. Are you telling me that those conversations in no way lobby or filter down to the other people who he's interacting with the Democratic Party? He's still a Democratic Party functionary. He's not out there fishing. That's the point that the guy's making. If you're getting hundreds of thousands up to millions of dollars for these speeches, those speeches have an influence. The influence that you're getting from the people who are giving you that money is not untethered to your influence with the Democratic Party. That's the point that he's trying to make, this revolving door thing. I'm going to put both of these down. You shouldn't be shocked by this. Like I said before, with the WikiLeaks thing, it showed that Citigroup lists of people they wanted Obama to have in his office. Those people, regardless of what Obama was saying on the campaign trail, put those people in his office. It was a ruse. Hope and Change was advertisement. It was like Pepsi. Pepsi or Coke. It was a brand name. It had nothing to do with actual reality. That's the point I'm trying to get at. These speeches are true to his values. That's the point. That is the point. Alright guys, I will end it on that. If you enjoy the content, feel free to share, rate, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the work through Patreon. Thank you.